Managing risk is a key and vital element of any construction project, and the effective reduction of risks tend to directly impact the success of a project throughout the construction and financially. However, managing risk is notoriously complicated and subjective to each project, so tools and techniques that could help are always valuable to construction professionals. And one of the most trusted and effective tools that can be used on a construction project is a risk register. This video is going to cover what a risk register is, why you would use one, and then what would you include if you were to build a risk register yourself. If you're enjoying our videos, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for alerts when we upload brand new content every single week. Before we jump into risk registers in more detail, we feel it is important to define what risk is within a construction environment. The Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors defines risk as an uncertain event or circumstance that, if it occurs, will affect the outcome of a program or project. So, what is a risk register? A risk register is a risk management tool generally adapted as a central repository for all risks and threats identified. For each threat or risk identified, information in relation to each risk is included, such as a description of the risk consequences, impact rating, and the risk owner. They also include other categories such as risk categories, risk analysis, risk probabilities, and risk response. By initially identifying and organizing risk in this way, it can help project managers, QSs, and other construction professionals to stay on top of potential issues that could derail the desired outcomes of a project. With this being said, it is good practice to start a risk register before a particular project even begins. In all honesty, there's really no time too early to start thinking of potential risks to your project and logging them into a risk register. The register is then used during the construction phase as a live document throughout, with risks being identified, analysed, and reduced on a daily basis. A project risk register ultimately allows you to collect all potential risks and map out a path to mitigate these risks should they occur. Of course, by identifying and logging potential risks, it may even allow you to remove the risk altogether. We are now going to show you some simple steps of how to actually produce a simple risk register for a construction project. Number 1. Risk identification. First, risks must be identified. Every team member is responsible for different areas of the project, so be sure to gain input from the designers through to the bricklayers and even stakeholders outside the immediate construction activities. Be sure to exhaust all potential risks from the market forces and even the weather. 2. Describe project risks. Try to be as thorough as you can while keeping the descriptions to the essentials. Having too little information in the description could make it difficult to truly understand whether a risk has become a real issue or not. Number 3. Describe risk consequences. Here, try to include all possible consequences so you can develop a strong and relevant strategy to deal with it if it does become a reality. Number 4. Calculate impact ratings and prioritize. Rate the potential impact of each risk on the project. You could do this using high, medium, low, or red, amber, green ratings, so the level of impact is easily identifiable. Number 5. Create risk responses. This is vital for effective risk management, so give it the time and effort necessary to complete it properly. Keep the risk response plan short and to the point where possible. Do in-depth research so if the risk shows up in the project, you can immediately spring into action and start mitigating any impacts. Number 6. Define risk owners. Where you can, assign an owner to each risk. If you don't have a risk owner for each and every potential risk, then you might not know about it until the impact of the risk is irreversible. It is important to remember that this is not an exhaustive list of items. This is a list of items that are often used within a risk register. Additional columns can be added to satisfy your specific construction project requirements. Metroun, a commercial hub to your business.